Many thanks for joining us on News Now on TV360. I am Annetta Felix. We begin with the latest on the tanker explosion on Otedala Bridge in Lagos State, southwest Nigeria. The death toll from the sad incident has now risen to 12. The new figure was confirmed by the State's Commissioner for Health, Jide Idris, at a press conference on Monday. 10 bodies were recovered from the scene of the incident, as opposed to the 9 which was initially reported, while 2 of the 7 survivors later died in the hospital. He assured that other survivors are now responding to treatment. Meanwhile, the Lagos State Police Command says it is perfecting plans to prosecute the owner and driver of the ill-fated fuel tanker. Lagos State Commissioner of Police Imohime Edgal confirmed this to newsmen after a state security meeting on Monday. We go now to Abuja, where a coalition group known as the Middle Belt Peace Network has held a peaceful protest over the killings in Plateau State. The group is demanding the arrest of a former governor of the state, Jonah Jang, accusing him of being culpable in the killings. The coalition, which marched protesters from the Unity Foundation to the force headquarters, wants the former governor to be investigated by security agencies. Our correspondent Tunji Oye has more.
These are protesters under the name Middle Belt Peace Network, and they are here to protest the wanton killing in Plateau State. Of course, they are calling for the immediate arrest of the former governor of the state, Jonah Jang, who they allege is culpable in the killing that took place recently in Plateau State.
Senator Jang is embittered by the many court cases for which he is afraid he will end up in prison. It must be noted that these strand killings only began after his predecessors. Senator Joshua Dariye was sent to prison in spite of being a member of All Progressive Congress, APC. His fears were heightened by the knowledge that he is a guaranteed candidate for prison. As a member of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, Senator Jang had also vowed to make the state uncomfortable for his successor. What we have gathered is that Senator Jang vowed to extinguish the peace of Plateau State and replace same with anguish and despair. For this satanic purpose, he has earmarked the sum of 1 billion naira to arm youth and children for another round of violence after the killings in the state.
The protesters say information available to them show that the former governor is culpable and has a lot of questions to answer before security agencies.
Human lives cannot and must not be devalued by making killing people part of a political game. While we appreciate the efforts of being made to ensure that there is a stop to the killing in Plateau State and the perpetrator brought to book, a good start is to immediately arrest Senator Jonah Jang to assist law enforcement agency with information on his role in the wanton waste of human life that was recorded in Plateau State. He will be useful in identifying other people that are smoking the fire of destruction.
The picture of Jonah Jang was displayed alongside that of former Minister of Defense T.Y. Danjuma and former Minister of Environment Sarah Ochekwe, although no categorical statements were made about these other 2 persons.
On behalf of the Inspector General of Police, we must, it's a mandate to the root of these causes, of this carnage that is going on. We should be equally be prayerful. If you are a Muslim, you are a Christian, we are all stakeholders in this country. Be prayerful so that this, God will intervene. God will intervene that, because if there's no peace, there will not be progress. If there's no peace, the market women will not do their business. Teachers will not go to school. Pupils will not learn. So, by the grace of God and the mandate that is assigned to us, we, with the synergy with other security agencies, we promise to bring this to an end.
Now, the protesters said they will not just stop at this protest. They said they will go a step further by petitioning the International Criminal Court, as the ICC, about the alleged crime against humanity committed by Senator Jonah Jang. From Abuja, Sunji Oye, TV360 News.
From the Federal Capital Territory to the northeast, where the Nigerian police force has denied that its officers embarked in a protest in the Borno state capital, Maiduguri. Media reports on Monday had suggested that police personnel were protesting in the northeastern state over non-payment of their allowances, but force spokesman Jima Moshood says this is not true. Moshood in a statement said the officers only went to the Borno State Police Command headquarters to inquire over the delay in payment of their special duty allowance. He added that the Inspector General of Police, Ibrahim Idris, has now ordered the Commissioner of Police, Police Mobile Force, PMF, to proceed to Maiduguri, Borno State, and other states in the northeast to lecture officers on the efforts being made by the force to ensure timely payment of special duty and other allowances to police personnel in the northeast. Meanwhile, the Nigerian Army has announced that 32 Boko Haram members have surrendered to its troops in Borno. This was disclosed in a statement signed by Army spokesman Brigadier General Texas Chukwu on Sunday. Chukwu said the terrorists surrendered to the Army troops at different locations in Borno State. Among them was one Ibrahim Lawal, who surrendered and also handed over one AK-47 rifle with 2 magazines containing 59 rounds of 7.62mm ammunition. Chukwu said the surrendered terrorists are currently undergoing interrogation and will be handed over to the appropriate authority. Moving on to judicial matters now, a federal high court sitting in Abuja has granted bail to the former National Security Advisor, Colonel Sambo Dasuki. This is the 6th bail that will be granted to the former NSA, and he has remained in custody of the Department of State Services, DSS. The trial judge, Justice Ijoma Ojuku, during the hearing on Monday, described Dasuki's continuous detention over the last 2.5 years as an aberration to the rule of law and contraction. She therefore granted the former NSA bail in the sum of 200 million naira and 2 sureties. The sureties, according to her, must not be lower than grade 16 in the civil service, and where they are private citizens, they must be owners of landed properties in Asokoro, Maitama, Utako or Garki area in Abuja.
The judiciary has vindicated the stand and the liberty of the applicant, because the whole essence of this ruling today is that the detention of Colonel Sambo Dasuki since 2015 is illegal, and the court has ordered that he be released on bail. I'm pleading with the government to comply with the order of the court. After all, it is the same court they have referred the matters to. It is the same court that will try all the cases, be it arms, money laundering or whatever you. And it is only the court, as of today, that can jail or free.
We are very happy today that we have had the judgment of today. But what we are waiting for is the compliance of the judgment, because 5 judgments were passed, but no compliance. So we hope this time the government will comply.
Still on the fight against corruption, President Muhammadu Buhari has pledged to extend his anti-corruption effort across the African continent to sensitize Africans on the evil effects of corruption on societies. The president's media aide, Femi Adesina, said in a statement that the president made the pledge in his introductory remarks as the leader of the African Union theme of the year, winning the fight against corruption, a sustainable path to Africa's transformation. President Buhari, who spoke shortly before the commencement of the debate on the African Anti-Corruption Year, said he had embarked on various programs meant to enhance the fight against corruption in a bid to transform the continent. The Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project, SERAP, has asked the federal government to reconsider its plan to share the 320 billion naira Abacha loot among poor households in Nigeria. In May, President Muhammadu Buhari said the recovered loot will be put into the Conditional Cash Transfer Scheme, CCT, targeted at the poorest of Nigerians. Chuko Ruma, representative of the National Cash Transfer Office, NCTO, on Thursday said the federal government will begin the disbursement of the loot to over 300,000 poor households in 19 states in July. But Timothy Adewale, syrup director, in a statement on Sunday, described the plans as mere tokenism, adding that it would neither have significant impact on poverty alleviation nor satisfy the twin objectives of justice and development. The organization asked the president to rather create a central recovery account or trust funds with oversight mechanisms to ensure repatriated funds are transparently and accountably spent to invest in tangible projects. Moving on to politics, the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) says it will commence systematic hardware and software upgrade of all its smart card readers nationwide by next week. The commission disclosed this through Oluwole Osaze Uzi, its director, voter education and publicity. According to Osaze Uzi, the planned upgrade is to protect the tools from unauthorized and malicious access. He said INEC had received reports of attempts to clone its permanent voters' cards (PVCs) and sell them online. Let's see watching news now on TV360. More stories up ahead in just a moment.
Corruption not in my country. Dalali, my business has been going down. I need your help.
Bawahala. I will show you the formula. I use some bad chemical which I mix so produce the drugs which gives me up to 4 times profit. Imagine.
So you are one of the people that is killing millions and millions of Nigerians in this country. Dalali, was it not you last 2 months that was complaining about the fuel scarcity in this country, that the government is corrupt?
Have I killed anybody in your family?
You don't have to kill any of my family members directly. Every Nigerian you kill is my family. Selling of fake drugs, expired drugs, putting drugs in wrong packets, all that are acts of corruption. This is corruption, not in my country. CIA.
Me? Fake drug? Now corruption? Allah care.
Corruption not in my country.
Stop corruption now.
Corruption not in my country.
Madam. Madam, welcome. Okay, madam, no worry. When you deliver the balance, we'll give you the goods.
No problem, no problem. All right, so now well done.
Thank you. Hey, Oga, I still say she don't bring money. Maybe we'll use this one for him now.
She wants mahogany, not white wood.
Oga, our work now to join wood together, deliver whatever to customer. Put the remaining profit for pocket.
Abba, this is corruption, not in my country. Corruption not in my country.
Stop corruption now.
Hello, welcome to News and Business. I am Fidelia Aguncha. Bank debtors who are owing 5.4 trillion naira are set to lose their assets. This is according to the Asset Management Corporation of Nigeria, AMCON, which says it is now set for a new stage of complete asset takeover. AMCON Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer Ahmed Kuru said the corporation is tired of debtors coming to his office and telling lies about wanting to embark on staggered payments, which they ended up never fulfilling. He stated that most parts of the 5.4 trillion naira debt had been with the banks for 5 years before AMCON bought them over, adding that after 7 years of its operation, the debtors had yet to pay. The Central Bank of Nigeria has ordered all commercial banks to resolve disputes arising from the use of unstructured supplementary service data channels within 3 days. Dikmo Fatukun, CBN's Director, Banking and Payment Systems Department, made this known at a Meet the Executive Forum organized by Finance Correspondents Association of Nigeria in Lagos. Fatukun, who was represented by Taiwo Oladimeji, Assistant Director of the department, said the directive would build more confidence in the payment system. The director said some provisions of the regulatory framework for USSD are meant to make the channel more effective. Oil prices fell by more than 1% on Monday as supplies from top exporter Saudi Arabia rose and signs of an economic slowdown in Asia dented the outlook for demand. Brent crude futures were at $78.16 per barrel, while U.S. crude were down 94 cents to trade at $73.21 a barrel after rising more than 8% last week. Saudi Arabia's output is up by 700,000 barrels per day from May and close to its 10.72 million barrels per day record of November 2016. The Nigeria Stock Exchange today closed in the red, beginning this trading week with a 0.86% decline in the all-share index. Despite recording more gainers than losers, the market capitalization stood at 13,746 trillion naira, with the all-share index at 37,946 basis points. Dangote Cement led the pack of percentage losers, declining by 2.14%, followed closely by Forte Oil, Nigeria Brewers, and Guarantee Trust Bank, which crashed by 9.74%, 0.46%, and 1.23% respectively. Mobil, Guinness, Flour Mill, and Julius Berger led 28% gainers, appreciating by 9.23%, 1.33%, 2.50%, and 2% respectively. Over 256 million shares valued at 1.859 billion naira exchanged hands in 3,308 deals. Meanwhile, Sterling Bank, First Bank of Nigeria Holdings, Wema Bank, and UBA were the most patronized equities for the day. Well, that's the news in business. Stay tuned for more stories.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, madam.
My name is Alero. I am not sick. I just need you to help put your stamp on this medical report. I want to tender it at my office as a sick leave. I'll pay 10,000 naira.
Ma'am, that is impersonation. I'm not a doctor.
Oga, be like say this English no go pay. I go increase the money to 20,000 naira. I beg. You know, if I give you that 20,000, as you wide so, you know, if it still help your condition more. So, you know, say you spread well.
As I spread like virus, I'll be.
You talk.
Come out! If first you come to the hospital, talk to make you give a fake medical report, make you go take collect sick leave. Talk and say, no, not corruption, not in my country.
Corruption not in my country. Stop corruption now.
At least 1,000 people were reported to have drowned in the Mediterranean this year, sailing from Libya to Europe, with a rush in the past few days to beat an anticipated crackdown by the European Union. The International Organization for Migration said around 204 people have died in the past few days after being packed into unsafe vessels by smugglers, with 103 lost in a shipwreck on Friday and more lost on Sunday when a rubber boat capsized east of Tripoli, with 41 survivors. The flow of migrants has abated since a peak in 2015, with the number attempting to cross the dangerous sea from North Africa falling to tens of thousands from hundreds of thousands. The other main route from Turkey to Greece, used by more than 1 million people in 2015, was largely shut down 2 years ago. More than 270,000 people have been forced to flee their homes in southwest Syria due to the 2-week escalation in fighting. The United Nations, however, said last week about 160,000 were displaced as they fled heavy bombardment and mostly took shelter in villages and areas near the Israeli and Jordanian borders. Jordan, which has taken in more than 500,000 displaced Syrians since the war began, and Israel have said they will not open their borders to refugees. Jordanian's Foreign Minister Ayman Safadi also said the shipments of aid were waiting to get approval to enter into Syria from the Jordanian border. In sports, Brazil has become the 5th country to qualify for the 2018 World Cup quarterfinals. The 5-time world champions defeated Mexico 2-0 on Monday to advance to the last 8. Goals from Neymar and Roberto Firmino helped see Seleção to victory. They will face the winner of Belgium and Japan tie in the quarterfinal. Meanwhile, back home in Nigeria, Chris Giwa has assumed duty as president of the Nigerian Football Federation, NFF. This followed a directive from Solomon Dalong, Minister of Sports, that Amaju Pinnick, who is currently in Russia for the World Cup, should hand over to Giwa. Addressing journalists at the Glass House in Abuja, Giwa said his assumption of office was in line with the ruling of the court on June 5, 2018. He said the court had nullified the parallel election held in worry by the former chairman, Amaju Pinnick, had upheld him as chairman. Gilbert's resumption is likely to draw the ire of football governing body FIFA, as Pinnick is the president recognized by FIFA, and Nigeria may be banned from football. British cyclist Chris Froome has been cleared of doping charges days before the Tour de France begins. The team Skyrider has tested positive for twice the allowed amount of asthma drug salbutamol in September. The UCI confirmed in a statement that the case against Froome has now been closed, adding that it hopes the cyclist would now return to focus and enjoy the upcoming races. The team principal, Sir Dave Brailsford, tweeted from the official Team Sky Twitter account to say he was pleased with the outcome and had total confidence in Chris and his integrity. In a later tweet, Chris himself said he was very grateful and relieved to finally put the chapter behind him. He called the ordeal an emotional 9 months. That has been news now on TV360. I am Annetta Felix. Thanks for watching.